wake up tired, not only in your body but deep in your inner world. There is a quiet contradiction pulling at you from both sides. One voice says, "You are small, replaceable, behind." Another voice, softer but heavier, says, "You are called." And the tension between those two voices is exhausting. You feel weak, yet summoned. You feel lost, yet claimed. You feel ordinary, yet marked for something that does not feel ordinary at all. This is not confusion. This is collision. You are standing in a season where your internal state does not match heaven's intention. And that gap is uncomfortable by design. You would have preferred strength before calling, clarity before obedience, certainty before movement. But that is not how God works with those He chooses. He calls while you are tired, so you learn where strength truly comes from. There are mornings you drag yourself out of bed, already mentally behind. You check your phone and see responsibilities stacking up faster than your energy. At work, you perform well enough to survive, but not with the fire you once had. You feel like you are maintaining a life instead of living one. Bills are paid, but peace is thin. Smiles are offered, but they cost you something. And in quiet moments, you ask a question you rarely say out loud. Is this really all I was made for? That question is dangerous in the best way. It is not rebellion, it is awakening. You may feel insignificant in your family, like the strong one who never gets checked on. You may feel unseen in your workplace, passed over while others advance faster. You may feel spiritually dry, praying out of habit instead of hunger. Yet strangely, the calling has not left you alone. If anything, it has grown louder in your weakest moments. That is not coincidence. That is precision. God often allows you to feel the limits of your own strength so you stop building your future on it. When you are strong, you rely on momentum. When you are tired, you rely on truth. Heaven is not impressed by your stamina. Heaven is interested in your surrender. There is also frustration mixed into this season. You look at others who seem to move faster, achieve easier, rest better. You wonder why your path feels heavier. What you don't see is the difference in assignment. Some people are built for speed. You are built for weight. And weight training feels like pressure before it feels like power. Think of a real moment sitting alone in your car before going inside, taking a breath because you don't feel ready to face anyone, or staring at your bank account, calculating how to stretch what's left until the next paycheck, or standing in the shower longer than usual, letting the water run because it's the only quiet place you can think. In those moments, you don't feel chosen, you feel depleted. But those are the exact moments heaven draws closest. Calling does not arrive as an announcement. It arrives as unrest, a holy dissatisfaction with staying the same. You try to silence it by being responsible, by being grateful, by being patient. But the calling persists because it is not emotional, it is divine. You are not behind. You are being positioned. The delay you feel is not denial, it is development. God is shaping your inner life to carry what is coming next. If He gave it to you too early, it would crush you. If He explained everything now, you would rely on logic instead of trust. This season feels like weakness, but it is actually stripping of false confidence, stripping of borrowed identities, stripping of expectations that were never yours to carry. And yes, stripping hurts, but it makes room. There is a hope here that is not abstract. Picture waking up one day without the constant heaviness in your chest. Picture working with a sense of purpose instead of survival. Picture providing for your family without fear gripping your decisions. Picture peace that stays even when circumstances fluctuate. This is not optimism. This is alignment. The ancient words speak directly into this paradox. It was proclaimed in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. Notice what fear is called. It is not given by God, meaning the fear you feel right now is not your identity. It is interference. Power, love, and a sound mind already belong to you. Even if they feel dormant, they awaken through obedience, not waiting. So here's the question you must face honestly if God is calling you now, in weakness. What are you afraid will happen if you actually answer? If this moment speaks to you, mark it. Like this message, share it with someone who feels tired but chosen, and subscribe so you stay connected to what is unfolding. And at the end of this section, make a prophetic act of alignment. Comment 444 if you choose to trust the calling even while you feel weak. And remember this, you are not late and you are not overlooked. Heaven's timing often feels slow because it is precise. What feels like silence is alignment happening beneath the surface, arranging people, moments, and strength you will soon need. This is not the end of your energy. It is the end of self-reliance. As you move forward, even tired, you will discover that grace meets motion. One obedient step will unlock strength you could never generate alone. You have been carrying weight for so long that it feels normal now. It sits on your shoulders when you wake up and follows you quietly through the day. You don't announce it. You function with it. You've learned how to smile while holding pressure, how to work while exhausted, how to care for others while neglecting your own inner life. This section is not about warning you. It is about helping you name what you've been carrying and teaching you how to finally set it down. The first instruction is simple but uncomfortable. Name the weight. Not vaguely, not spiritually, specifically. Some of you are carrying financial anxiety that never fully sleeps. You check your account more than you pray. You replay worst-case scenarios while driving. You agree to work you hate because it feels safer than trusting provision. Others are carrying responsibility overload. You became the reliable one, the strong one, the problem solver. Everyone leans on you, but no one asks how heavy it is. And some of you are carrying emotional residue from past seasons. Betrayal you never processed, grief you postponed, dreams you quietly buried because they took too long. Naming the weight means saying it honestly, even if only to yourself. This is what is heavy. Not I'm fine, not others have it worse, but this expectation, this fear, this pressure, this unresolved pain. This is what I've been holding. In daily life, this shows up clearly. You snap at small things. You feel irritated by people you love. You procrastinate not because you're lazy, but because you're overwhelmed. You lie in bed scrolling, not because you're entertained, but because you don't have energy to face tomorrow yet. These are not character flaws. They are signals of unspoken weight. Once the weight is named, the second instruction follows: set the weight down. This is harder than it sounds, because you've mistaken carrying for control. Setting the weight down does not mean quitting your job, abandoning your family, or pretending responsibility doesn't exist. It means redefining what is yours to carry and what never was. It means acknowledging that some burdens feel urgent, but are not yours alone or yours at all. For example, at work, you may be carrying outcomes you cannot control: other people's performance, leadership decisions, timelines that ignore human limits. Setting the weight down may look like doing your part with excellence, then refusing to mentally rehearse outcomes at night. In finances, it may look like creating a plan and then releasing the panic loop, choosing discipline over dread. In family life, it may look like loving without fixing, supporting without absorbing, being present without becoming responsible for everyone's emotions. This process requires humility. There is a quiet pride in overcarrying. It makes you feel needed, important, indispensable, but it is also exhausting. God never asked you to be omnipotent. That role is already filled. There is a moment most people avoid, the moment you admit, I can't carry this anymore. That admission is not weakness, it is accuracy. Think of a specific, ordinary scene. You're in the grocery store, calculating totals in your head before you reach the register. You're answering a family member's call even though you're already drained. You're staying late again, telling yourself it's temporary, even though it's been months. These are the exact moments where the instruction applies, not in church, not in theory, in the aisle, in the car, at the desk. Setting the weight down often begins with small, practical shifts. Saying no once, delegating one task, asking one honest question, taking one real rest without guilt, choosing not to replay a conversation for the 10th time. These actions seem small, but they are spiritual decisions. They declare, I trust God with what I release. There is also an internal weight. Many of you carry self-accusation. You replay past mistakes. You punish yourself long after lessons were learned. You measure yourself against who you thought you'd be by now. That weight is especially dangerous because it disguises itself as responsibility, but it produces no fruit, only fatigue. You were never meant to be your own judge and executioner. Conviction corrects and releases. Condemnation only presses down. The ancient words address this directly. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 55, verse 22. Cast your burden on the Lord, and He will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be moved. Notice the action cast. Not manage, not minimize, not spiritualize. Cast. Casting requires movement. It assumes distance. You cannot cast what you insist on clutching. And the promise attached is not that the burden disappears instantly, but that you are sustained. Stability returns. You stop being shaken by everything. Hope here is not abstract. Imagine walking into your day without the constant internal dialogue of pressure. Imagine responding instead of reacting. Imagine sleeping without your mind racing through unpaid bills, unfinished tasks, unresolved conversations. This is not denial of reality, it is partnership with God within reality. Setting the weight down does not mean life becomes light overnight. It means you stop being crushed by it. It means your posture changes, your breathing changes, your spirit regains margin. So here is the direct question you must answer privately. What specific weight are you willing to stop carrying today? Even if it feels risky to let go. Until that answer is honest, relief stays theoretical. But the moment you name it and choose to set it down, alignment begins. Quietly, practically, faithfully. The story begins in a place no one expects deliverance to happen, a prison. Peter is not in transition, not in preparation, not even in prayer. He is chained. Guards stand on both sides of him. Iron gates separate him from freedom. The sentence has already been decided. This is not suspense for Peter, it is an ending. And yet, while the prison sleeps, heaven moves. An angel appears. Light fills the cell, and Peter is struck on the side, not gently awakened, but jolted. Chains fall without effort. Doors open without force. Peter walks out past guards who do not wake, through gates that open by themselves, until suddenly he is standing outside, free, confused, and alive. He thought he was seeing a vision. Heaven was executing a plan. That story matters because many of you feel like Peter felt before the angel arrived, trapped in circumstances that look final. Not dramatic chains, but practical ones. A job that feels impossible to leave, debt that limits every decision, a family role you didn't choose but must carry, a diagnosis, a record, a label that seems permanent. You didn't get here because you were reckless. You got here because life closed in quietly. Peter didn't free himself. He didn't negotiate with the guards. He didn't break the chains. Heaven intervened when the situation was humanly immovable. That detail is important because some of you have been blaming yourself for not escaping something you were never meant to escape alone. In daily life, your prison may look ordinary. It looks like waking up to an alarm you hate. It looks like saying I'm fine while your chest feels tight. It looks like knowing you were made for more but feeling blocked by responsibility, timing, or fear. And the most dangerous part is this: over time, you start adjusting to the chains. You stop expecting doors to open. Peter was sleeping the night before his execution. That detail is unsettling. It tells us he had reached the end of striving. Some of you are there now, not peaceful, but resigned. You've stopped asking for change because disappointment hurts more than stagnation. You've lowered your expectations to protect yourself. But heaven did not confuse Peter's sleep with surrender. Heaven moved anyway. This is where the story enters your life. You may feel stuck, but you are not forgotten. You may feel watched by limitations, but you are also watched by God. And just like Peter, your release may begin with disruption. The angel struck him to wake him up. Deliverance was not gentle, it was urgent. Sometimes what feels like interruption in your life is actually rescue. A conversation that unsettles you. A door that closes suddenly. A restlessness that won't let you stay comfortable. These moments feel inconvenient, but they are often the first tap on the shoulder saying, "Get up." Think of a concrete moment. You receive an unexpected email that changes your work trajectory. You run into someone at the exact time you were questioning your direction. A routine plan falls apart, forcing you to consider something you've avoided. These are not random. They are gates beginning to open. Peter had to obey simple instructions: stand up, get dressed, follow me. He didn't receive the full plan. He moved step by step. Some of you are waiting for a full explanation before you move. Heaven is waiting for movement before explanation. Your chains may not fall all at once. Sometimes the first chain to fall is mental, the belief that this is all there is. Sometimes it is emotional, the release of guilt that never belonged to you. Sometimes it is relational, the courage to stop staying where you are not growing. Deliverance is often progressive, but it is still divine. There is also a quiet detail many miss: the church was praying while Peter was imprisoned. He didn't even know it. Support was happening outside his awareness. In your life, help may already be forming where you can't see it. Conversations you are not in, doors you haven't reached yet, alignment you didn't orchestrate. This should give you hope. Your freedom does not depend entirely on your awareness, your energy, or your perfection. Heaven works beyond your perception. The ancient record captures this moment powerfully, as it is written in the book of Acts, chapter 12, verse 7. Suddenly an angel of the Lord appeared, and a light shone in the cell. He struck Peter on the side and woke him up. "Quick, get up," he said, and the chains fell off Peter's wrists. Suddenly, that word matters. Deliverance is often sudden after a long season of stillness. The delay was not denial, it was timing. And when it comes, it may feel unreal at first. Peter had to walk it out before he believed it. So do you. Hope here is not fantasy. Picture a moment where something finally shifts, approval comes through. Clarity arrives, courage rises, or peace replaces panic. Picture telling your story later and realizing the prison wasn't permanent. This is not false hope. This is historical faith applied to present life. But deliverance also requires response. Peter had to walk out of the cell. Some of you are praying for chains to fall while refusing to move when they do. Freedom still asks for participation. Here's the direct question for you. If the door opened tonight, what fear would you have to leave behind to walk through it? Before we move on, I want you to anchor this moment. Comment a simple phrase below. I'm waking up. That phrase matters because naming awakening breaks agreement with resignation. It marks the moment you stop confusing delay with destiny and start expecting movement again. There is a moment when waiting ends, not because everything is clear, but because your posture changes. You stop leaning forward anxiously, and you stop leaning backward in fear. You stand upright, quiet, aware. This is not the moment of action yet, it is the moment of alignment. Alignment feels different from excitement. Excitement rushes. Alignment settles. It doesn't shout that something big is coming, it whispers that something true is already here. You may still wake up to the same job, the same responsibilities, the same faces, but inwardly, something has shifted. You are no longer begging heaven to move. You are listening for where to place your feet. This is the stage where identity becomes refined. You no longer need constant reassurance. You don't need to explain yourself as much. You start protecting silence because silence is where clarity grows. And strangely, you become less reactive. What once triggered you now passes by like weather, not because you are numb, but because you are anchored. In everyday life, this looks subtle. You respond instead of react during a tense meeting. You choose rest without guilt. You stop chasing validation through overwork. You allow someone else to misunderstand you without rushing to correct them. These are not small changes. They are evidence that your center has shifted. You are learning that not every door must be forced. Some doors open when you stop pushing and start aligning. And alignment requires discernment. You begin to notice which conversations leave you lighter and which ones drain you, which commitments stretch you in a healthy way and which ones quietly hollow you out. There is also a kind of loneliness here, not because you are abandoned, but because you are being differentiated. Old rhythms no longer fit. Old noise feels too loud. You may find yourself stepping back. Not out of bitterness, but out of wisdom. This can feel strange when others don't understand why you're changing. Think of a real, ordinary scene. You are scrolling late at night, and something in you hesitates before consuming more noise. You pause, you close the app, you sit in the quiet instead. That pause is alignment. Or you are about to say yes to something familiar, but something inside you gently says, not this time. That is alignment too. Alignment does not make life easier immediately. It makes life clearer, and clarity often demands courage. The ancient wisdom speaks directly into this season. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 19. This day I call the heavens and the earth as witnesses against you that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life so that you and your children may live. Notice the tone, not force, not threat, choice. Heaven lays options before you and honors your agency. Alignment is always an invitation, never a coercion. You are not dragged into purpose. You step into it. Hope here becomes tangible. It looks like choosing life in small ways. Choosing honesty over performance, choosing depth over distraction, choosing connection over isolation. These choices do not trend online, but they transform lives. And somewhere in this quiet alignment, an image forms. It is as if you are walking at dusk, and someone hands you a lantern. You are not told where to go. You are not pushed forward. You are simply given light and trusted. Holding that lantern does not obligate you to run. It invites you to keep walking. This is where voluntary devotion lives. When you choose to stay connected to this message, it is not because someone demanded it. It is because the light helped you see something you didn't see before. To subscribe is like choosing to keep the lantern nearby so when the path darkens again, you are not searching for light from scratch. When you feel moved to share this with someone else, it is not marketing. It is like tapping a friend on the shoulder in a foggy field and saying, "There is a path here." You don't drag them. You simply point. And when you choose to like this message, it is like placing a small stone on the path, not loud, not flashy, but a quiet marker that says, "I was here, and this mattered." These are not commands, they are gestures, gentle, meaningful, voluntary. So here is the question for this section, one that does not demand an answer out loud. Where in your life are you being invited to choose alignment over urgency? You are not late. You are not behind. You are standing at the place where heaven trusts you with choice. And that trust is sacred. You may not feel ready, but readiness is not the requirement here. Honesty is. Heaven responds to those who show up as they are, not as they pretend to be. When you stop performing strength, you create space for real strength to arrive and settle where fear once lived. This alignment will not remove every question, but it will steady your steps. You will notice fewer dramatic highs and lows, and more quiet confidence. Decisions become simpler, not because life is simpler, but because your inner compass is no longer spinning without rest. As you move forward, remember this: choosing alignment once is not the end, it is the beginning of a rhythm. Again and again, you will be invited to choose life over noise, depth over speed, truth over approval. Each choice gently shapes who you are becoming. There is a reason this part of the journey feels heavier again. After alignment comes exposure, not public exposure, but inner exposure. You start noticing what still resists change. Not sin in a dramatic sense, but habits, patterns, and quiet agreements you made with survival. This section is about awareness, because awareness always comes before authority. You may feel like you already did the hard work. You waited, you realigned, you let go. So why does it feel like another layer is being touched? Because calling is not shallow. God does not just change what you do, He changes what you agree with. And some agreements have been running quietly for years. In everyday life, this looks subtle. You notice how quickly fear still drives certain decisions. You realize how often you default to people-pleasing instead of truth. You catch yourself shrinking your voice in rooms where you are meant to speak clearly. These are not failures. They are revelations. And revelation is a gift. Think about a normal situation. You are offered an opportunity that looks good on the surface, but something in you hesitates, or you are asked for your opinion, and you almost soften it to avoid discomfort. Or you receive affirmation, but instead of receiving it, you immediately deflect. These moments reveal where old agreements still live. Many of you made these agreements in past seasons for good reasons. You learned to stay quiet to keep peace. You learned to overwork to stay safe. You learned to carry everything yourself because no one showed up when you needed them. Those strategies protected you once, but they cannot lead you where you are going now. This is where courage becomes internal, not loud courage, honest courage, the courage to admit, This pattern no longer serves the calling I carry. And once you see it, you can no longer unsee it. In work life, this may mean releasing the belief that your worth is tied to constant productivity. In finances, it may mean confronting fear-based control and choosing stewardship instead. In family dynamics, it may mean stepping out of a role you were assigned but never called to carry forever. These shifts are uncomfortable because they change the balance, but they also restore truth. There is often resistance here. Part of you wants to return to what was familiar, even if it was heavy. Familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar freedom. But you didn't come this far to negotiate with fear. The ancient words speak clearly into this moment of inner reckoning. The Apostle Paul reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians on chapter 10, verse 23. I have the right to do anything. You say, but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, but not everything is constructive. This verse cuts gently but deeply. It tells you that not every option is assignment. Not every open door is alignment. Freedom without discernment becomes distraction. You are learning to choose what builds, not just what is allowed. Hope here becomes practical. Imagine a life where your decisions are no longer reactive, where you don't explain yourself endlessly, where you trust your discernment enough to say yes slowly and no peacefully. This is not control, it is maturity. There is also a strengthening happening beneath the surface. Every time you notice an old pattern and choose differently, something in you stabilizes. You become less swayed by urgency, less impressed by noise. You start carrying yourself with quiet authority. People may not know why, but they feel it. Now comes the moment of marking, not because heaven needs proof, but because you do. Speaking alignment out loud seals awareness into intention. It is a way of saying, I see what God is doing and I am choosing to move with it. So here's the invitation for this section, simple and intentional. At a climactic moment, choose to mark this shift. Comment 144. Not as a trend, as a signal. The meaning is this: 100 for completeness, 40 for transformation, 4 for foundation. You are allowing God to complete what He began, transform what resisted change, and rebuild your foundation with truth. And here is the direct question you must carry forward from this section. Which old agreement are you ready to release so your next season can be built cleanly? This is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming undivided. The number 100 speaks of completion. It represents a cycle brought to fullness, not rushed, not forced. By marking this number, you are acknowledging that a season of learning, endurance, and inner work is reaching its intended end. Nothing was wasted. Everything taught you. The number 40 carries the meaning of transformation through testing. 40 is never punishment, it is preparation. It is the space where old identities fall away and new clarity forms. By choosing this number, you recognize that pressure refined you, it did not destroy you. The number 4 represents foundation and order. It speaks of stability, structure, and direction. 4 reminds you that what comes next will not be built on emotion or urgency, but on something solid enough to last when circumstances shift. Together, 144 becomes a declaration completion has met transformation, and a new foundation is being laid. You are not stepping forward randomly. You are stepping forward intentionally, grounded in what has been finished, changed, and made ready within you. This number also signals alignment between intention and action. It is not magic, and it is not superstition. It is a conscious marker that says your inner decisions are catching up with what heaven has been shaping quietly. You are no longer drifting. You are choosing direction with awareness and purpose. There is a quieter kind of strength forming in you now. It does not announce itself. It does not rush to prove anything. It simply remains. After the inner exposures, after the release of old agreements, you begin to notice something unfamiliar: steadiness, not the kind that comes from certainty, but the kind that comes from trust. You are no longer constantly checking for signs. You are no longer measuring every moment for confirmation. You still care, but you are no longer frantic. This is the strength that grows when striving finally loosens its grip. And this strength changes how you move through ordinary life. At work, you still meet deadlines and handle responsibility, but you are less defined by outcomes. A bad day does not dismantle your sense of worth. A good day does not inflate your identity. You begin to work from center instead of pressure. Others may not notice immediately, but environments respond to inner posture long before they respond to words. In your finances, fear no longer dominates every decision. You still plan, you still steward, but panic has less authority. You stop making choices just to feel temporary relief. You begin choosing sustainability over impulse. Even when resources are limited, peace is no longer completely dependent on numbers. In relationships, this strength becomes even more visible. You listen without absorbing. You speak without over-explaining. You no longer chase closure from people who are unwilling to meet you honestly. This is not hardness, it is health. You are learning the difference between compassion and self-abandonment. There is also a noticeable shift in how you handle silence. Silence no longer feels like absence. It feels like space. Space to think clearly. Space to feel honestly. Space to hear God without static. You stop filling every quiet moment with noise, because you trust that stillness will not swallow you. This season teaches you something subtle but essential. Resilience is not about enduring endlessly. It is about knowing when to remain and when to release. You become less reactive to emotional spikes. Triggers still exist, but they no longer control the direction of your day. You pause more. You choose more carefully. Think of a common moment. Someone misunderstands you, and for once you don't rush to correct them. Not because you agree, but because you trust that truth does not require panic, or you face an unexpected expense. And instead of spiraling, you breathe, adjust, and move forward. These moments may seem small, but they are evidence of internal authority. This strength also reveals where you no longer belong, not with anger, but with clarity. Certain conversations feel repetitive. Certain environments feel draining. Certain expectations feel misaligned. You don't condemn them. You simply recognize that your capacity has shifted, and capacity determines assignment. There is grief here too. Letting go of who you were requires acknowledging that version carried you as far as it could. Gratitude and release coexist. You honor the past without living inside it. You allow change without demanding it make sense to everyone else. The ancient words speak directly into this kind of settled power. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 15. In repentance and rest is your salvation. In quietness and trust is your strength. That sentence reframes everything. Strength is not noise. It is not speed. It is not constant motion. Strength is the ability to rest without collapsing, to trust without control, to move without panic. This is not withdrawal from life. It is alignment within it. Hope in this section becomes deeply practical. It looks like waking up without dread, even if challenges remain. It looks like trusting that what is meant for you will not require you to betray yourself to receive it. It looks like believing that promise unfolds through consistency, not pressure, not. You are also learning to let outcomes mature. You no longer pull at fruit before it ripens. You understand that premature harvest spoils what patience would perfect. This awareness protects you from burnout and regret. Strength now lives in your boundaries, your pacing, your honesty. It shows up in how you speak to yourself when no one else is around. It shows up in your ability to rest without guilt and act without fear. So here is the question that anchors this section. Where in your life are you being invited to choose quiet trust instead of constant effort? This is not a pause in your journey. It is consolidation. What has been revealed, released, and realigned is now being stabilized. And stability is what allows the next movement to carry weight. You may notice that this quiet trust changes how you see time. You stop rushing moments that are meant to teach you patience. Waiting no longer feels like punishment. It feels like cultivation. Each day adds depth, not delay, and your soul learns to breathe without urgency. This steadiness will begin to affect others, even without explanation. People may feel calmer around you, or more honest in your presence, not because you have answers, but because you are no longer leaking anxiety. Peace, when embodied, becomes permission. Carry this with you as you move forward. You do not need to be louder to be stronger. Your grounded presence speaks before words do. And in time, you will see that this season of quiet trust prepared you to carry what noise never could. You are no longer standing at the threshold wondering if this moment will ever come. You are already inside it. The waiting did not end with noise or spectacle. It ended with readiness, a quiet, grounded readiness that does not need permission or applause. You are not stepping forward because everything is clear. You are stepping forward because you are clear. This is the difference between movement driven by hunger and movement shaped by purpose. Hunger rushes. Purpose walks steadily. And now, the pace of your life is changing. Not faster, truer. You are no longer asking the world who you are. You are carrying that knowing within you. Being sent does not always look dramatic. Often it looks ordinary from the outside. You wake up, you go to work, you handle responsibilities, but inwardly, something has shifted. You are no longer just surviving days, you are inhabiting them. You show up with presence instead of pressure, with intention instead of urgency. In your work life, this looks like consistency without burnout. You do what is required, but you no longer tie your identity to approval. You speak when it matters. Stay silent when wisdom calls for it. You don't chase recognition. You let fruit speak. Over time, people begin to trust you not because you demand authority, but because you carry weight. In your finances, you are no longer ruled by fear of lack. You still plan. You still steward. But anxiety is no longer the loudest voice in your decisions. You understand that provision is not only about numbers, it is about alignment. And aligned steps, even small ones, compound into stability. In your relationships, something sacred happens. You stop overgiving to be chosen. You stop shrinking to be kept. You love freely, but you remain intact. You no longer confuse attachment with connection. This is not distance. This is maturity. And maturity creates space for healthier bonds to grow. You are also learning how to walk without needing constant affirmation. Silence no longer frightens you. You trust the process even when feedback is minimal. This is how legacy begins, not with attention, but with faithfulness. Picture a simple image. You are carrying a lamp through a valley at night. You are not lighting the whole landscape. You are only lighting the next few steps, and that is enough. Others may notice the glow and follow, or they may not. Your task is not to persuade. Your task is to remain lit. The ancient words affirm this kind of life. The Apostle Paul wrote in the letter to the Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." This verse is not a motivational slogan. It is a promise anchored in time. At the proper time. Not rushed, not delayed, proper. Harvest does not come because you strained harder. It comes because you stayed faithful longer than fatigue expected. Hope now looks steady, not explosive. It looks like waking up with peace even when challenges remain. It looks like trusting that what is meant for you will meet you without requiring self-betrayal. It looks like influence that grows quietly, rooted in integrity. And as this journey continues, there is a gentle invitation woven into it. Not obligation, not pressure, invitation. To like this message is like placing a quiet marker on the road, an acknowledgement that this moment mattered. To comment on this post is like leaving a personal witness. A sentence carved into the journey that says, "I was here, and I received this." To share it is like holding a lantern out to someone walking behind you, offering light without forcing direction. And to subscribe is like choosing to keep walking near the fire, returning not because you must, but because warmth and clarity live there. These actions are not tasks, they are expressions. They mirror the very posture you've developed throughout this journey, voluntary, conscious, alive. So here is the final question you carry forward, not to answer publicly, but to live out quietly. What kind of light will you choose to carry consistently, even when no one is watching? You are not being sent to impress. You are being sent to remain faithful. And faithfulness, over time, becomes legacy. You will discover that legacy is not built in moments of visibility, but in patterns of quiet obedience. Each ordinary day becomes a brick. Each honest decision becomes mortar. Over time, what seemed small forms. Something lasting, something that holds weight even when storms press hard against it. There will be seasons when no one applauds your consistency. No one comments on your faithfulness. No one notices the restraint it took to choose integrity again. But heaven notices. And heaven records what humans overlook, storing it for moments when it will matter most. Do not rush to see the full impact of your life. Fruit ripens at its own pace. Some harvests are immediate, others are generational. Trust that what you are planting now will feed more than just you. It will nourish places you may never personally walk. As you continue forward, keep this truth close: you were never meant to burn brightly and disappear. You were meant to glow steadily and remain. And that steady light, carried faithfully, will guide more lives than sudden flashes ever could. And when doubt returns, as it sometimes will, remember this: endurance is not loud, but it is powerful. Every step you take in quiet faith compounds. Nothing aligned is ever lost. What you carry steadily will outlast what others rush to display. You don't need to rush away from this moment. Let it settle the way dust settles after a long walk, slowly, naturally, without force. Not every word you heard was meant to be remembered. Sometimes only one sentence stays. Sometimes only one feeling lingers. That is enough. What is meant for you will remain. The rest can pass without guilt. If something here felt useful, not impressive but useful, like a tool you didn't know you needed, you are free to pass it on. Sharing, in that case, is not about promotion. It is like handing someone a cup of water because you know what thirst feels like. Quiet, human, unobligated. And if you choose not to share anything at all, that is also right. You are allowed to keep what touched you. Some truths are seeds meant to be planted privately, not displayed publicly. Growth does not require witnesses to be real. You don't have to agree with everything. You don't have to label this moment. You don't even have to understand why something resonated. Just notice what stayed with you when everything else faded. That is usually where meaning hides. Life will resume its pace soon enough. Messages will arrive. Responsibilities will call. Noise will return. But something in you has shifted, maybe slightly, maybe deeply. Let that be okay without explanation. Not every change needs narration. If this journey offered clarity, carry it lightly. If it offered comfort, let it soften you. If it offered nothing at all, release it without resentment. What is not for you is not a failure, it is simply not yours. You are free now to move forward however you choose, with company or alone, with certainty or questions, with light steps or slow ones. What matters is not how loudly you walk, but that you walk honestly. And if one day, later on, you remember a line from this and it helps you breathe easier, that will have been enough.